Hello and welcome again to the Rider Review. This is Erakat Rider, and this week we're going to be taking a look back at the 2018 horror comedy titled Boo 2: A Madea Halloween. Now, the runtime for this movie is 1 hour and 41 minutes long. It is written and directed by Tyler Perry. The script was written by Tyler Perry. It is produced by Tyler Perry, Ozzy Areo, Willie Areo, and Mark E. Swinton. It was composed by Christopher Leonards and Philip White, the cinematography by Richard Violette, and it was edited by Larry Sexton. And the stars of the movie are Tyler Perry, Cassi Davis, Patrice Lovely, Yousef Erakat, Diamond White, Lexi Penterra, Andre Hall, Brock O'Hearn, Tito Ortiz, Taja V. Simpson, Inanna Sarkis, Hannah Stocking, Lauren Riihimaki, Jared Sawyer Jr., Mike Tornabene, Akende Munalula, Deara Taylor, Ken Walker, Elizabeth Hinkler, Emily Hinkler, Barry Stoltze, Bradley Martyn, DuBois, Aden Stay, Yan Dron, and Ray Sremmurd. It would have made more sense for Tyler Perry to have released Boo 2: Madea Halloween in the month of October instead of having a first installment and a second one released in the month of January, which is hypocritical on my part because why am I doing a Halloween movie in the month of January when I should have done it 3 months ago? For many years of me reviewing Tyler Perry directed movies, his films have been either a hit or a miss, but this outing is one of the biggest misses in his 20 years in the film history. I mean, it was a big time miss. Make no denial about it, but Perry is a very talented individual as a writer, director, a performer, and he can balance comedy and drama like no other director could. Plus, he can hold his own, playing multiple characters at once, solidifying that he can at least, in his own mind, can do no wrong. But then again, Eddie Murphy has also had that notoriety of playing multiple characters in one movie, like the Nutty Professor stuff, Pluto Nash, and Norbit Taylor, and a few others. The first Boo: A Madea Halloween was atrociously bad, so I asked myself, could anything get any worse? Well, after watching Boo 2: A Madea Halloween, I could say that my question has not only been answered, but fulfilled. It was that fucking horrible. It's just a movie that one of those sequels that should have never been made. I mean, if the first Boo: Madea Halloween was bad, why do you want to continue to do something that's even worse? I mean, it took 6 days of filming when maybe it would have been just better if he would have used his huge money, his huge pot of money, and did some other project that did not necessarily have to do with Madea or necessarily do with Halloween or a Madea Halloween. Not only is this movie predictable and the jokes are recycled, but the movie was pointless because we just everything that was happened in the first movie is just redone again in this one. Like nothing has changed. It was just a way to milk in the money for Mr. Perry and to make another hit or miss movie. If so, here's a suggestion. If he can't come up with new ideas, he should either retire the Madea movies or simply don't make another Boo 3. Maybe he's learned from that because this movie also had some pretty bad reception, including nominated for like the Golden Raspberries. The movie once again centers around the always egocentric Tiffany Simmons, played by Diamond White, who seems like she has never learned anything from the previous outing, and she is once again stirring up trouble as she's flirting with the dudes at the frat house. The only excuse now is that this time she can do it because she has just turned 18 years old the day before Halloween, which means I guess her birthday is October 30th. And she was given a car for her birthday, even though her father does not want her to drive because she's a reckless driver. And but don't worry, her mother, who loves to spoil her, will give her what she wants, while her father still wants to treat her like a child. Oh, he also had a petting zoo set up for her. Yeah, petting zoos. They're good for 9-year-olds, but not for 18-year-olds. We get a better understanding as to why Tiffany is a bratty, entitled, toxic bitch to her parents, especially towards her father, Brian, played by Tyler Perry, who tries to show discipline towards her, even though she doesn't want to take any more of his disciplinary ways because she's 18. But her mother, Deborah, spoils her and let her get away with anything. So she goes off with her protege. Tiffany goes off with her protege, which includes some uber religious girl, some other crazy girl who's stalking some guy named Horse, who looks like some kind of hippie dude. One of them is, I guess, a Latino girl who's like, her father is UFC fighter Tito Ortiz. So what she wants to do is she wants to just do everything from the first movie. Try to go bang some fratty patties. Even though her father clearly forbids her from doing it. And I will explain to you why. So, in the middle of the paternal differences, Brian turns to Madea to sort things out and to make her learn a lesson. So she's joined by Aunt Bam, played by Cassi Davis, and Addie, played by Patrice Lovely, and once again, Tyler Perry as Uncle Joe, who I think is by far the funniest character in this movie, albeit kind of creepy. And his sexual innuendos really actually are unpredictable, and maybe probably the only thing that makes me want to see the movie because of the unpredictable nature of Uncle Joe. In spite of the way they handled their rebellious daughter, Brian and Deborah are also at odds as to whether or not to allow Tiffany hang out with the frats who are holding their annual Halloween party, but instead of in the frat house, they decide to go to a place called Lake Derrick, which has allegedly been the site where a series of grisly murders have taken place under mysterious circumstances. Sure enough, Tiffany and the gang venture off into Lake Derrick, and suddenly strange things start to happen as one by one party goers are getting abducted and supposedly murdered by a group of chainsaw wielding madmen wearing gas masks. I don't know if they're supposed to pay homage to like Jason Voorhees or whatnot. They also spot some creepy looking ghoulish girls with palish skin and long black hair. They look like rejects from The Ring or The Grudge. But, oh my god, this is just pure cringe. This, of course, leads to Madea and her protege to follow along in search for Tiffany and maybe hopefully learn a lesson from that she'll finally learn that whatever no means no means no. So Tiffany and her friends are roaming around screaming and running for their lives from these terrible fiends, but there's really no payoff to it. In the end, it's just a barrage of loud, frantic, over the top Scooby Doo frights that don't really provide enough laughs, but a lot of pointless cringe. I mean, when you watch a Scooby Doo cartoon, it's supposed to balance comedy and horror, but you don't get really any of that. In the end, all you get is a big pot of cringe. That's all there is. Not only is it a repeat from the first outing, it also wallows upon issues that are never fully explained. The hilarious coda is supposed to that's supposed to culminate into something hilarious never fully discloses to what the point was behind the whole debacle. The comedic rhythm is very choppy in details. And while I just don't think it's right to just spend a whole 1 hour hearing people scream and talking incoherent jibber jabber and Uncle Joe making passes towards minors, it's just really cringe inducing. But you know the thing about that's peculiar about the Madea Halloween Boo 2 is that the main character, Madea, is not really the main primary focus. But then again, a lot of movies in the Madea universe or in the Madea franchise have not always been about Madea. It's always been about the characters who are not Madea being involved in such situations and Medea is coming to the rescue, which does not really necessarily make her into a leading character, but just more like a glorified supporting character. And she really has little involvement in the main story. The main story is mostly about Tiffany breaking her father's no means no rule, going off to the frat party, and she can do it now because she's got very little repercussions ahead because she's now 18 years old. But even the frat guys are not really that willing to bring her in at first. But hey, 18 is her calling card, so then they're like, party on! But of course, she's not here to trick or treat for candy or to do candy party games. No, no, no. She wants to drink beer, get wasted, and get laid. So to say that this movie is for kids, no, it's not. In fact, a lot of the sexual innuendo and the base jokes are actually pretty deep, dark, and quite suggestive. And the thing also too about Madea is that she's not even the one who provides the most laughs. You want somebody who's got a lot of laughs, that comes from Uncle Joe. He gives us an indication that Tyler Perry is pretty much running out of ideas for Madea, and that he should have retired the character, or at least retired the Boost series. Either way, it's all good. I mean, just think about it. You know, the old saying goes, like, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Well, in the case of Boo 2 and Madea Halloween, this was something that was broken from the beginning. Don't try to repair it. It's irreparable. And I think maybe the lesson to be learned does not come from Tiffany's character, or Brian's, or Deborah's, or even Madea or Uncle Joe's. No. I think the lesson to be learned comes from Tyler Perry himself. If something did not work the first time, don't try to bother to refix it. Just move forward and go on to something else. You have a lot of money. It could have been put to much more better use than this. So with all that said and done, if I was to give this movie a scale out of 10, I would give Boo 2 Madea Halloween from 2017 I'm sorry I said 18, but 17 actually. A 1 out of 10. It's really that bad. That's why my review is a little bit more shorter. Because in the end, I really don't have a lot to say. So I guess this ends my ride review. Thank you all for listening in. If you wish to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please feel free to do so. If you wish to leave a comment, go right ahead. But just remember the 3 simple rules: be kind, be courteous, and please refrain from any rude comments. And I will be back again with another movie review. So until next time, this is Eric Correct Writer saying, keep watching those movies, and I'll see you around. Goodbye.